Hey everybody, I have a little video here for you today on some upgrades I'm going to do to my Team Associated SC10. They will include replacing the servo with a much better servo, waterproof servo, and we'll also waterproof the rest of the electronics. This is what I consider my racing truck, but I don't really race professionally. It's more or less just like bashing with my kids. But nonetheless, I want to make this truck a little bit more durable, a little bit more robust, and water repellent. So let's not waste a lot of time. I want to show you what I'm going to do here. This is the way this truck came stock. Yeah, a little receiver here, no receiver box, anything like that. So today we're going to install a receiver box, Team Associated receiver box for the SC10. Servo here is, you know, when I first bought this truck, I told myself I was going to leave it completely stock, but there's no such thing as leaving an RC car completely stock. And the servo is a little slow, and it's not waterproof. So I went ahead and bought the Ace Digital, an Ace Digital servo. I'm trying to think of what the number was. It doesn't have it on the box. But anyway, it was cost me about $32. It's waterproof. I don't know if it's any faster than the servo, but it definitely can't be any slower. And we're going to waterproof the electronic speed controller. I'm going to use a tip that I saw from another video. It's not my tip, but I believe in it. I'm going to try it. I've never done it before. But we're going to waterproof the ESC too, so we're not going to waste a lot of time. I'm hoping to get this all done in one video, so let's get into it. So first up, we're going to replace the servo here. This is the stock servo right here that came with the car, and I just find it's a little too slow. I'm doing fishtails up and down the block. So first thing we need to do is remove these screws on the bottom here. Okay, now that we got the servo free here, we took those two screws out of the bottom. We're going to take off the servo horn here. Now I'm hoping this servo horn works because the others that came with the SC10 did not fit on my new servo. So if this one doesn't work, we might have to do a little bit of modifications to one of the servo horns that it came with. But I'm hoping that this one will just line right up. So lucky me, the servo that I bought, now here's this is what it is. It's the Ace DS 1903. Paid about $32 for it. Luckily for me, the horn that comes with already attached to the steering linkage fits perfectly on it. So let's get that installed. I'm going to take the mounts directly off the stock servo, and I'm going to put these things right here, and I'm going to put them directly on the new Ace servo. Just using all the same hardware here to put the new mounts on the new servo. Everything looks like it's lining up just perfectly, so basically all I'm doing is swapping out the servo. We're not going to change anything. Alright, so now I'm just going to kind of dry fit the servo in here just to get an idea of how I want it lined up. We don't have this mounted yet, just kind of, like I said, dry fit. I got my, I got the receiver and the transmitter turned on just so this thing will be true when I mount it. I'm going to get the wheels straight. I'm going to put the servo horn on where I think it should go, and then I can fine tune it from there. So I kind of got it where I like it. I'm going to screw everything down tight, and then we'll fine tune it with the remote. Okay, we're just going to screw the servo right back in. Same spot. Yeah, I got really lucky. Everything just kind of lined up perfectly, and I didn't really have to swap out anything. I didn't even remove the servo horn from the steering linkage. So it was a good pick. I got, you know, I looked at a lot of forums on what replacement servos to get for the SC10, and it was like all across the board, from $100 and some servos to, you know, Traxxas servos, all kinds of information. And you know, in the end, I just tried to match up the dimensions of the servo and go with something waterproof as cheap as I could. There's ways you can waterproof servos, but I figured since I was swapping out the servo anyway, because I didn't really like the stock servo. I don't have a lot of complaints about this car, but the stock servo was definitely too slow. It was a huge learning curve how to drive with it. It was oversteering big time. I was fishtailing up and down the road, so that had to go. And yeah, I got pretty lucky. The Ace 1903. That's the servo that I went with. So $31.99, I think. So here we are, new servo. Definitely a lot quicker. So I'm happy with that, and it's waterproof. So $32 upgrade. That's install number one. Now we're gonna next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the receiver box in. So we're going to install the this receiver box I got. This is just a Team Associated SC10 receiver box. I think it was $8.99, and it'll keep everything enclosed, keep it dirt free and somewhat water resistant. So we'll put that in next. First thing we have to do is we're going to unplug the speed control and the servo. Take off the antenna cap. Take out the antenna. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem. Yep, there we go. I'm going to feed that through there without destroying it. Just be careful, you don't want to rip your antenna out. Really tiny receiver, it's kind of weird. But that's what it came with. So just pull this out through the bottom and up through here. And then now we have to remove the receiver. It's stuck down with the double-sided tape. So we're just going to use chisel and very gently pry that up. We're going to remount the receiver box there. Oh, yeah, really gently. All right, now I'm going to get all this residue off, and then we'll mount the receiver box and we'll go from there. One thing I noticed, if you can see here, I'm going to have to take this battery, the thing that holds the battery down. I'm going to take that off. It gets in the way right here where I need to mount the receiver box. So either that or I might, no, I think I have to do that. So I'm going to take that off and see where we can go from there. I kind of need the battery cover, but I want to get the box in first and see how it affects how this thing remounts. So just stay tuned. All right, so that, you can see that's how it's going to lay in there. It's going to lay in there right like that. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back, and then this gets screwed through the lid, and the bottom of the case gets bolted to the car right here, and then another screw, I guess, bolts the top down here. So not sure how I'm going to get the battery stay here to go back in, but we'll work on that a little bit later. So we got some double-sided tape here, the bottom of the receiver box. We're going to peel off this layer here, and you get one shot with this. So lines up. Now this here lines up pretty good with the antenna hole. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Just going to line that up perfectly, and then make sure screw hole is pretty lined up, and just push it down. Make sure your surfaces are clean so it sticks really nice. Now that's in there. I have to get that out with a chisel right now. So, and then we're going to next thing we're going to do is we're going to mount the receiver inside there with some double-sided tape. Okay, you got double-sided tape on the back of the receiver. So give yourself some space. This is where your servo and your ESC wires come in, so give yourself a little space there. And remember, the antenna goes on this side, so you want the antenna facing that side. So I'm just going to squish this in there. Same thing, one shot, one kill. Okay, and there it is. Okay, we have, this comes included with the receiver box, a little rubber gasket. We're going to slide that down in this slot here. Okay, just like that. You got to get it below the trough that the overall seal goes in. So make sure you push that down far enough, and then just run the wires through. You got your speed control wire. All right, we got a little update here. Through a whole bunch of headaches. Yeah, let me tell you, putting this gasket in is a real pain in the ass. So I don't know if it's right, I don't know if it's wrong, but I ended up tire gluing every spot of it except for this little corner right here, because you're gonna need to leave a little spot free if you ever want to get your cables in and out. So, and the other thing too is the way I had this mounted on its bottom, it was never going to, the top was never going to come on. So I had to mount the receiver on its side. So there's a little update. Now we have the gasket in, it's not coming out. I tire glued it, and I'm going to put the cap on, and we're going to be done with this part of the project. All right, so there's the finished product right there. We got the receiver box installed. I still don't know how I'm going to get this thing back on. Honestly, this was kind of a pain in the ass, so I think if I had to do it over again. I saw a technique where the guys just take the whole receiver and they just dip it right in plastic dip. Maybe that's better. I don't know, because this one was kind of a pain in the neck. But anyway, we're moving on to the ESC. We're going to waterproof that now. Okay, so basically I'm going to take the electronics out of the case. So I got my screwdriver. I'm just kind of wedging these things out here gently. If I break this ESC, I'm screwed. I'm at about $40, but if this works, that'll be good. Then it'll be more durable. So just take that out there. Try to pop these out in the back. Gently. Try to take this whole thing apart without breaking anything. Yeah, the idea is to protect the ESC, not to destroy it. So, there we go. That's what the inside looks like, and that's what we're going to waterproof right there. We're going to take this off the top. And we're going to try to cover everything but the heat sinks with this stuff right here. You see that? Liquid electrical tape. You can get this anywhere, any hardware store. About $4 or $5. So I figured it'd be, it'd be worth a shot to try to waterproof this ESC as opposed to buying a waterproof ESC. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. I hope it works. So basically, we want to cover everything but the heat sinks. Those you want to have contact with the air so they cool off. One of the reasons you can't put an ESC inside of a box is because you need the element. You need it to cool off. So we're just going to coat all these electronics here. Like I said, this isn't my technique. I saw this from another YouTube producer. I actually messaged. I sent him a message asking him if I could mention his name. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, so we won't do that. I don't want to take credit for anybody else's work, so I did not invent this. But if you go ahead and do a YouTube search on waterproofing ESCs, you'll see a couple guys using different methods, but this was the one that looked kind of cool to me. So we'll just get a nice little even coat here. We're going to do 2 coats. We're going to let this one sit for a little bit. Probably not the best idea to do this over the car. So the only thing you don't want to do is the top of your diode here, so you can see exactly what's going on with your RC car. And now this part here, this little settings button too, we don't want to totally cover that. So we're just going to get in here and schmutz all this stuff up. I'm hoping this works. Oops, got that covered. We want that clear. We want to be able to see that. But, if you screw up with this stuff, it peels right off. It's kind of the beauty. It's like liquid rubber. And if you mess up, it just comes right off. So it's not something to be terribly afraid to be afraid of. Now with that, we're gonna let this that dry overnight. So at this time, we're gonna end the video. I will be sure on my next video to do an update on how this project worked out. But we're approaching the 15-minute mark, so I gotta cut it off now. But definitely give you an update on the next video. So pretty easy. The receiver box was a little tricky. The servo worked out great. And we have yet to see what's going to happen with the ESC, the waterproofing the ESC. But like I said, it's rubber. It peels off. So if I screw up, I can always just peel the stuff off and either start again or do something different. So thanks for watching. Comment. Let me know. Give me any advice you guys have, because this is my first real tutorial. Just, let me know what you think, and subscribe if you think this is cool. If not, maybe subscribe a little bit later, and hit like if you thought it was cool. If not, no big deal. So, you guys take care, and I will give you an update on this in the future.